ain't gotta ask when you come up. When you get the bag, make it run up. When you getting cash and you wanna. You ain't gotta ask when you come up. You ain't gotta ask when you come up.
What's up, everybody? It's Yordani from Boston, and today we're sitting down with Nick Gray and discussing his beginnings and his latest project, Dash Pack, out now.
Make it dash, I make it dash, yeah. I make it fast, I make it fast, yeah, I make it dash.
What's up, bro? Thanks so much for coming through.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Good to be here.
Word. So, we just want to just talk and see what's been happening with you lately. You know, you just released your EP Dash Pack. Go check that out. That shit is straight flames. Just get a little background for people who don't know you. Where exactly are you from in Boston?
Cool. Yeah. So I'm from Mass originally. I grew up down towards the Cape, a town called Mattapoisett. I just tell most people New Bedford because nobody has heard of my town. So, but I went to high school all down there, and then I moved to Boston when I gave it the college try, and first place I lived was. I went to school downtown, but first place I actually settled was over in Dorchester, so it was pretty cool. But yeah.
I guess so. You grew up in that small town, what was it like discovering music at an early age? Was it something that your parents really were heavy into, or was it something you searched for yourself?
Yeah, honestly, the first music stuff I remember I liked on my own was when NSYNC and the Backstreet Boys were popping, because it was radio stuff, and my cousin would have MTV on and stuff. So I was just getting all my stuff from that, for as far as mainstream stuff. But my grandpa used to play piano and ukulele and stuff. So when me and my brother were little, he'd always be playing stuff. We'd be dancing and all that stuff. Yeah. So, and also, now that I think about it, one of my uncles was crazy gifted at guitar, like a wizard on it. But no one in my family ever really was oh yeah, you can do music, it's a thing that you can do. It was just oh yeah, we like it, it's fun and it sounds good and you can dance and stuff. But I never even thought about pursuing it professionally till later, end of high school, when I started rapping and stuff. So it's I kind of got on a little late. I just knew I liked to do it. I never even saw it could go somewhere. It seemed unreachable, almost becoming an athlete. It's you know what I mean? It's you see all these people here, but it's yo, they're crazy at this. They're insane. What's the steps to even get to that? It's it was foggy. It had no concept I could do it, but I still like doing it as much as I did back then. So that's, I still just do it. It's because I like it. But.
So yeah, you're here now, you have several bodies of work. So what was the point where it turned from I really like music to where I feel this is something that I need to express?
Yeah. So basically when I started taking it serious, I guess.
Or whenever you just started just kind of figuring things out, writing shit in your notebook or whatever, when that kind of started.
Yeah, so when I started writing stuff, originally I wasn't even thinking about it as rap. I was just writing poems technically, and they happened to all rhyme on the end, because I got into rap in high school and stuff. I listened to Eminem and stuff when I was younger, but then I went through a rock phase where I got into all the old Hendrix and Pink Floyd and all that old type stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then in high school I got more into rap because that's what other people were listening. So I did the whole, you find out about Biggie, Tupac, Big L, coming up the timeline kind of. And then
wait, who was at that time who were the mainstream guys that were kind of popping
when I was getting into it? It was Eminem. I remember the first rap song I was yo, this is crazy, was the My Name Is by Eminem, and I was yo, this is I just knew I liked it. Didn't know why, didn't understand half the stuff he was talking about, but I knew my parents would cringe when he said it, so I was like, yeah, I like this.
Hi kids, you like violence?
Yeah,
See
yeah.
me stick 9 inch nails
There's a
each one of my
violence.
eyelids.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, this is crazy. And like,
All right, so you're starting to write poems and kind of like figuring out like your style and everything. So like now, fast forward a few years. So like, when did you kind of like get into the scene and like link up with like Replay and Stiz and kind of like get the whole Pilot Nation thing going?
so I was like 19. Yeah, I was 19, and I got put on to this company called TE. It's called Teen Empowerment. It's basically like a community thing where kids come together and they talk about the community and problems in it, and kind of brainstorm things you could do to try to help. And we used to do like showcases, and like which you could rap at it, people dance, like it was like an art thing.
Yeah.
But I got that job there, and Stiz also got hired there at the same location I was at. And when we were all doing like introductions and stuff, I was like, my name's Nick, like I rap. And then you had to like do a thing, like do whatever your art was, like to show people. So I spit like a verse, and Stiz was just in the back like geeking, like what, like, because I was just like this white kid, like clearly not from the area.
Yeah.
I was just, I didn't look like I could do what I did.
Yeah.
And so I did it, and he came up to me after. He's like, "Yo, bro, what's up? Like, what do you like? You rap? Like, this, like that's crazy. Like, I never heard anybody do that around here." And I was like, "Oh, dope. Like, what do you do?" He's like, "Oh, I rap too." And then later on, he did his thing. I was like, "Whoa, yo, you're dope, dude. You're like really good." So we kind of like hit it off then, and we kicked it the whole summer. Like, he brought me and showed me where he was from, and kind of introduced me around to people in the city. And then a little later, he introduced me to Replay there was some event that he brought me to, but we all linked up, and then I heard Replay songs, and I was like, oh, damn, bro, like, you're good too. Like, and I'd met a couple other people in the city, and like, I knew that I was good at rapping. Like, I at that time, I felt like I had something. Like, I didn't hear anybody else rapping like me, like putting the stuff together that I was doing. And I heard Stiz and Replay, and I was like, yo, you guys both have it too. Like, you guys are both nice with it. Like, I can hear it. So we all kind of sat down, played each other's stuff, like just talked, and we were like, we should like all make music together. And then I think it was through Replay. Replay had met Tim LaRue through another connection, and then he kind of brought Tim into the mix. And at that time, Tim was doing like a music blog, and he was just trying to like work with artists and stuff. So Tim kind of like organized almost the Pilot Nation thing and helped us to put it together as like a trifecta. And he was like, okay, so the goal is we put a tape together, like you guys on the songs with each other, each have a solo song. And that we didn't, we were just like young kids, like, just kind of in those years in college where you're just like partying and don't know what you're doing and you're broke. And we just all knew we liked doing music, so we made the conceited effort to just make a project and do it correct and go to a real studio and like really try. And it was cool. Like we none of us had ever done anything like that. And it kind of gave us all like that stepping stone to go on to like the next and keep moving forward. But that was definitely a cool era, and I definitely attribute that from taking my artistry from kind of just floundering around, not knowing anything, to like, all right, this is where we can head to if we want to do this.
Yeah. So now you did the Pilot Nation thing, and like everybody kind of just like figured out like, okay, like I kind of want to do this, and you want to do that. Cause I feel like it was an amicable split, like everybody was like cool, everybody's so cool. So like, so like now, like fast forward to now, like, and I've like you've gone through like a lot of like cool kind of like sound changes and things like that. So like now, like we have like the dash pack. So like, kind of like what kind of like sparked that like concept for the project and things like that?
Yeah. So after the whole Pilot Nation thing ended, that kind of ended. We didn't like sit down and talk. Oh, we're splitting up. Like it was after that, we kind of each got a little lost, like didn't really know what the real next step was. I was like trying to figure out my life. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like paying rent, had no money after. Like I was like I can't like keep doing this. So I kind of fell off. I didn't really make music for at least like a year and a half. I don't think I wrote a song in like a year and a half after that. And then eventually I was just like so depressed. I didn't know what I was doing. You know, I was in no shape. Like I was eating bad. Like I didn't really have anything going. And I was like, I need to find something that like makes me feel good. And I was working at a doggy daycare at the time. And one night after we were closing up, I was doing stuff on the computer and I pulled up YouTube. And this other chick that was working there, she was like, oh, da da da. We were just talking about stuff. And I was like, oh, yeah, I make music. Like, and she's like, yeah, show me something. I'm like, I wonder, like, what's even up? So I searched, like, Pilot Nation on YouTube, and a recap for a show we did came up with one of the songs, and I put it on. I hadn't watched it in a while. And she was like, this is you? I'm like, yeah. She's like, why aren't you doing this? I'm like, I don't know.
Why aren't I?
And at that moment, I was like, okay, I need to like change. Like this is what like I'm supposed to be doing. So I kind of quit that job, just started hustling and figuring things out like on my own. I kind of lost most of my connections for the music, like producer-wise and stuff, because I fell off. So I was like, well, I need beats. Like, why don't I just make my own beats? Yeah. So I ended up scrapping enough money together to get myself a computer, Logic. It's actually right here. It's still here. Yeah. And I started making beats, and that kind of sparked me to get back into it. And eventually, the first good song that I made was Favors. I don't know, it's the one on the scooter. I did like a scooter video. Oh, yeah. Like, so that, and then when I dropped Favors, it started like getting some plays, and I was like, okay, so maybe I got this still. Like, fast forward, you know, we went through the Northside project, and then that one I dropped last October, and then that. After all that, all these songs that have come out has just kind of been a culmination of me just moving forward and seeing that this is what I want to do. Yeah. And I mean, some of the Dash Pack songs, I think I had like 3 of those songs for like 2 years. I was just sitting on them. And that's kind of just what I do right now. I just make as much as I can, vault it, go through it. If stuff kind of sounds like it's cohesive, we'll throw it together. Singles, we'll throw them out. But that's kind of just how I'm moving now, is just what makes me feel good is creating. So, you know, I just try to create as much as I can, and what comes together comes together. You know, if we want to shoot a video, then we go for it, and that's kind of just how we're moving now, just trying to make stuff constantly. It's the only thing that keeps us feeling good. So
yeah, I feel that. And like, so I really like the sonic aesthetic on the record, like as far as just like the production and things like that. So like you know, it kind of reminds me of just like kind of like, it's like I'm not gonna make any comparisons. Let's not do that. But it's like the kind of like dark, like the dark vibe production wise juxtaposed with like, okay, like I have these responsibilities in my life and like I have to like get this stuff done. So like, what was kind of like the process behind like making a lot of the tracks on there?
Yeah, so I mean, the last couple of years, man, I'm still just trying to figure stuff out. Like, I'm not, you know, financially set. Like, I got money to pay for music stuff and to get stuff done, but like, it's hard-earned money. Like, I'm still like hustling and still trying to like bring it all together. So that's just what all my records are about to some extent, you know. I might have some like love, like there's relationship stuff intertwined in it. There's hustling stuff. There's like be responsible for yourself and take care of your people. Like to a point, like unless a record's specifically about something, most of them just kind of combine all that together. And it's like, because that's just who I am. Yeah. So it's like, you know, when I find these beats that strike me emotionally enough to sit down and invest like my mind into it, that's just how all these records come out. And, you know, if it gets recorded and it sounds good enough, then, you know, it becomes a song. True. And that's what it is. But, yeah, man, it's life music. That's
true. And kind of backtracking a bit, like, I remember, like, I like seeing like Rolex Daytona story. Like I literally got like a back seat to your tour, kind of. So like, what was that experience like? It looked fun as fuck. Like,
bro. Tour was everything like you think tour is. It was multiple times. So it was me, Schaefer was behind the camera, Dan, and my brother came to TM and drive. So multiple times we would just like look at each other and be like, this is it.
Like, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know, TM means tour manage, and a tour manager basically makes sure like everything's on the point with the tour, checking out like deal settlements, things like that, making sure logistically everything lines up correctly. But yeah, just so you guys know.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's what my brother did, and you know he had no experience prior to that. He's just my brother, and he likes the music. So I was like, well, we need a driver. You know, who can we trust? Who is like responsible otherwise? So I was like, yo, Ian, you want to come and do this? He's like, yup. So he quit his job he had at the time to come do it. Fine. Totally worth it.
Yeah.
Like sure. Like that whole thing is honestly like life memories. Like when you're just old in life, like I'm glad I have that memory to look back on because it just feels great. Just you and your boys. Like playing music every night. Yeah. For people who don't know who you are and you don't know them, and there's vibes in the air. It just feels incredible. My soul just like smiles when I think about it because like it's an experience that not many people like ever get to experience.
So speaking of traveling. Checked out your Instagram. Had some really dope flicks from LA. Like, so what was going on there? You're just going out there and just like hanging and seeing what the vibe's like.
Yeah. So the first time we went out to LA, we shot the juggling video. Yeah. That was before we didn't really have any contacts out there, and me and Schaefer just kind of went out and guerrillaed it, which was an experience in itself.
Dude, okay, like so like that's one of my favorite music videos. Like. Cause like, okay, how did the fucking mail truck thing happen? Like, I'm curious.
Should we go into the video side?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So I wrote juggling, and I was like, it had the mail line, and I was like, bro, we got to do something with like a mail truck or something. I get rubber bands from the postman. I count all my friends on like one hand. So we kind of like wrote it out like I dress as a mailman and we try to find a mail truck. And before we decided even to go out to LA, we were like, how the hell are we going to get a mail truck? Like, how do you even do that? And I started researching, and then, you know, out in LA, they got prop cars for everything. So whatever kind of car you want, like, they got it out there. So I'm like, all right, Schaefer, we got to go to LA. So me and Schaefer we picked like 5 days like that we were gonna set to go out there. We had the car for 1 day. You know, had to set it all up, rental, fill out like paperwork, do all this stuff. And we got out there. The day we got there, it was like cloudy and overcast. We were like, oh shit, like if it's cloudy, we're fucked tomorrow, because that's all we got. Woke up the next day, the sun just came out. We were like, yes. Like lucked out. Like you can't, like, you know what I'm saying? We booked the tickets like a month ahead. You can't see the weather like that far ahead. Yeah. So that was like, honestly, that was just some luck that we had on our side. But so we get out there, it's me and Schaefer, and then we had our other homie who we stayed with, this dude B-Flan, good dude, also does like film stuff and video, so he was versed in like, you know, what we had to do in shooting. Schaefer had his glide cam and whatever, his older camera, and Schaefer was basically just running the whole day.
Yo, hold it. Hold it.
It's more than holding hands. I don't drink no lean, I don't take no Zans. Like, we had the other homie's car too, so we'd get the driving shots with Schaefer sitting in it, but a bunch of the shots, Schaefer was just running, like following, trying to get the shot like as smooth as he could. But that day's another like fun memory that we look back on and makes us smile. Yeah.
Yo, thanks again for coming through. Thank you guys for watching. This is Nick Gray. Keep your eyes out. Again, go hit up that Dash Pack EP. That joint is fire. And just keep your eyes on Nick Gray. Cool stuff coming soon. This is for Boston.
That's hard time. This one my heart said. Now we don't see no more them dark days. Yeah. Now we don't see no more them days. Yeah. No more dark days.